Well, hi, friends and Links players. We are really glad to have you with us for this ride through Faith in the Arenas of Life, our 10-lesson Bible study. And we are moving to Lesson 5, and I'm here again with Greg Hurley. And Greg has written the white paper that inspired Faith in the Arenas of Life. He's a certified financial planner. And we have talked about putting Christ on the throne of our lives. And we've begun to weave his reign through the other arenas of our life. We talked in Lesson 4 about career. We move into Lesson 5 talking about couples. This lesson is called A Great Marriage. And we have, between us and obviously with the others that we talk to, we have seen good marriages that seem to have that rhythm you talk about. The Lord in the reign of that relationship. But we've also seen marriages that struggle because there's strife there. There's not a peace brought by Christ into that relationship. What have you learned about what God wants you to do in your marriage? I know this is a really important thing for you, Greg. You and I have talked several times about this particular thing, the role of Christ in your marriage.
Yeah. Dishes and diapers.
That's those two keys right
That's
there.
it, man. I had this Bible study mentor, Michael Wheel, out of Lake Avenue Church, and I'll never forget it. And I had only been married like 2 years. He's like, and he wasn't speaking directly to me. He's like, I never want to fight about doing dishes, so I always do them, or I always try to do them, because there's so many things to fight about, And I can totally relate to that. There are a lot of things to fight about, but by the grace of God, Nicole and I have never fought about dishes or diapers, and maybe laundry. But we've fought about everything else. But I think what that does is it lets me enter into her world, or our world, right? It's not just her world and my world, it's our world, and we're trying to accomplish something together. And from that, I think, gives a bond that we wouldn't normally have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's funny you say that, because I know I had heard not long ago about a calendar of pornography for women, and every month it was a picture of a guy doing a chore around the house.
Right.
And that really is something, obviously, as men we want to speak to what our wives need. As women want to speak to what their husbands need.
Right.
Certainly one of the common one of the popular things out there is Emerson Eggerichs' love and respect. Women really need to feel loved. Men really need to be respected. That's an important part of that balance as well. If you've mentioned to me that you have made a commitment to read a book about marriage every year, a book about parenting every year, put those things in place. What are you looking forward to, say, in the next year and then maybe 5 years of your marriage?
Yeah, we've just been married 7 years. I was from a broken home. My parents separated when I was 9. Even though they remained friends, it was very challenging for me, very devastating. So it took me some time. Once I met Nicole and we started dating, getting more serious, took me some time to propose, because I was concerned, because I didn't want this to end in divorce or separation or anything like that. So I've really tried to put our relationship near the top of the priority list. So looking forward is, one of the ways I really measure success is obedience, and instead of success in business or anything like that, is obedience to what God would have us do. And then also the measurement, and you can't quantify this, but how our faith is growing. And for Nicole and I, we were super baby Christians when we got married. Maybe not even Christians, and, we had a lot of arguments at the forefront. But now the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed is really her faith growing. So I just, to answer your question, I just look forward to continuing to fan her flame, so to speak, and doing the things necessary, not just saying them, but doing the things necessary in order to help her continue grow in her faith. by giving her time alone with the Lord, encouraging her to maintain and continue to grow her circle of sisters, because I think that's so important. Because she can get so wrapped up in Luke, our son, who's 3, and what he's doing and the responsibilities and the stresses of that. So I try to create a balance where that I give her time in order to flourish as a disciple of Christ.
Great. Thanks. Lesson 5, a great marriage. This is something obviously that you want to give attention to, and the lesson as you go forward looks at scriptures about marriage and some of those things that will be helpful to you as you come to understand what God would have us do in allowing Him to reign in our marriages, in our homes, our households.